Islam is the religion that believes in one God, that is Allah, and Islam is the second largest religion in the world. Islam is discipline's religion from small to large thing that we do have rule and currently have their own benefits. And everything has been recorded in the Quran and Hadith of the Prophet. Islam is a religion that uphold the courtesy such loving the younger and appreciate the older. All the knowledge there on Holy Quran, such of economic, the law of justice, science, health, and much more. Uh, in Islam, a Muslim should not eat and drink while standing. There is a hadith that narrated by Imam Muslim. Uh, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La yasarabbana ahada minkum qa'iman. Really, do not be one of you drink while standing. So if we eat and drink while standing, and our stomach will not be digested or processed first by the intestine. Of course, it's not good for health.
That emerge as a result of submission to God. The Quran asks that all humanity should embrace Islam, that is peace, and remind us to avoid following Satan. I start in the verse, "Oh, you who believe, come in full submission to God, all of you, without allowing any discord among you due to worldly reason, and do not following in the footsteps of Satan. For indeed he is a manifest of enemy to you, seeking to seduce you to rebel against God with glittering promises." Quran, verse 208. Satan is the enemy of peace. The verse is followed by a reminder of God's all-glorious with irresistible might if believers stumble and fall back from following God's way to realize peace and agreement.
Well, thank you for Angga and Jubet who explain about Islam and Islam with in peaceful and love way. I will tell you about the education in Islam. Well, the education in Islam has played a central role in Islam since early times because it's owing in part to the centrality of scripture its study in the Islamic tradition before the modern era. Education would begin at young age with study of Arabic and Quranic, and some students would then proceed in training in tafsir, or you can say that it's Quranic exegesis and fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, and which was seen as particularly important. Yeah, fiqh, Quran, hadith is particularly important in education because this is basic of life. So students need to know how to read that, how to understand the Quran, the hadith, and sometimes we should be well prepared, be well trained about the study of Islam itself. And for the first few centuries of Islam, educational settings were entirely informal, but in the beginning of 21st century, the ruling elites began to establish institutions of higher religious learning known as madrasah in effort to secure support and cooperation of ulama. And madrasah soon multiplied throughout the Islamic world, which helped to spread Islamic learning beyond urban centers and to unite device. And madrasah were devoted principally to study of Islamic law. So you can say that relatively high, at least in comparison to the European countries. Education in Islam really has a good important role because without Islam, the students will be, you can say that will be arrogant, will be something rude to the teacher, because Islam teach how to be a good human, how to be a good student. Even Islam teach how to be a good teacher too. Yeah, Islam is really peaceful religion. Religion with full of love, with religion full of tolerance, and religion with the basic of education. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.